Hey everyone, and welcome to another week of Lost Resort. This is a live streaming show coming at you every Thursday. This week we have special guest Michael Brun and Mr. Eazi. Later on, we have another guest joining us, Alex from the agency 72, and Sunny jumping on later in the show. Michael Brun is a Haitian producer and artist. The certified tastemaker has brought Haitian music to the forefront on stages like Coachella and EDC, launched his own nonprofit, and is the face of the Emmy-winning beatmaking lab. Mr. Eazi is a Nigerian singer-songwriter and entrepreneur. He pioneered Banku music, has toured around the world and back, and is currently launching the Africa Music Fund. Alex Brugman from 72 and Sunny is an anthropologist and writer currently working in the diversity, equity, and inclusion field. He provides companies and brands with creative strategies and programs that educate, heal divides, and promote connectivity. So I'm happy to have Michael and Mr. Eazi on first. Hey. So where are you guys?
I'm in Brooklyn right now.
Oh, okay, word. All right.
I'm in London.
London.
Yeah.
Nice. So then it's pretty late. London's like 11?
Yo, it's like 11:02 p.m.
Have you guys been? Like, how has it been, like, navigating just coronavirus, quarantine? I'm sure for both of you guys right now, as you know, as musicians, touring musicians, all that has kind of stopped for you. So, how have you guys been handling it?
Michael, you want to go first?
Yeah, it's been definitely like all kinds of different experiences. Learning to adapt to like being at home basically months at a time now. I actually went for my first trip since everything locked down last week. Went up to the Catskills up in the mountains, but it's been I think necessary to just like meditate as much as possible, rest, eat well, catch up on all the stuff that probably like most people who are touring artists or producing artists didn't get a chance to do before.
100%. What about you, Mr. Eazi?
Man, I've been trying to get used to not traveling. You know, you travel so much, you don't realize you get addicted to the fast pace. And so now when everything slows down, it's just like you're going crazy, but you're not. Maybe it's just that you feel like you're in prison, but in the end, it's just happy to be alive,
Yeah,
and then happy to be able to channel all this energy towards like something else.
100%.
Michael taught me how to record. And so for the first time, like all this while, I wasn't recording by myself, but now I've learned how to record. My studio is on this table, and it's a new, exciting experience.
Nice. Just working on your engineering skills. Soon he's not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
need you
coming. I'm,
anymore. He's gonna be like, bye, Michael.
He already
Don't
doesn't
need
need
you.
it. He already doesn't need it.
what
Nah.
about you, Toki?
Me? I mean, I think it's kind of like a little bit of both, right? You know, when you're used to flying a lot and doing shows, DJing or performing, it becomes kind of a lifestyle and you get used to it. And then you realize once you have to stop, it's almost like if something has to force you to stop for you to take a moment. And so
Yeah.
I've been, in between enjoying it and being a little frustrated because, I think a lot of traveling is inspiration for music. And so I know a lot of musicians have been really fruitful, but really haven't been making as much music as I think I have in the past. But that's
Yeah.
also why I'm here. So I'm in Palm Springs right now. My studio is like right over there on this desk.
Oh, wait.
And so I'm hoping to work on music, but it looks like I'm mostly just like eating and like swimming in a pool. But I'm not even really swimming in it. I'm just like wading in a pool, but it feels nice, you know? Um, but yeah, I also feel like you feel a little imprisoned because you can't leave anywhere and you can't do that, but trying to make the most of it. It's kind of nice to like sleep regular hours too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
major.
I think
it's
like
like,
the first 1 month, I was just like having the weirdest sleep pattern. Like I was going to bed at 6, waking up at 7:30, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's the worst. Have you guys ever had that thing where, let's say you're out for a gig or you're at the studio and you're doing something that's all night and you have a flight really early, so then you don't actually sleep at all. Like you kind of sleep
Yep.
like 2 hours here and like 3 hours here. You'll be sleeping with your mouth open at the airport and
Yeah.
like, you can't
Oh
do that
yeah.
now. Now you can just wear a mask so no one knows your mouth is open on a flight. If you have to take one.
Yeah,
That's
the time
yeah.
zone switches, I don't miss those. I don't miss time zone switching, like having to figure out what day it is and
Oh,
all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what day it is today. I mean, I only know what day it is today because I have to do this show and I know the show is on Thursdays, but otherwise I don't know what day it is. Since this whole situation, I'm like, is it Tuesday? I was
Yeah.
like, is it still April? Or is,
I
I
think
was
it's
like, what?
moving
When
fast,
is it?
It's
What's going
what do you guys
on?
think? I think like this year is just like racing. I'm like,
Oh
where
yeah.
like I remember it was just March or it was just January and now it's like about to be August and I'm like, yo, calm down, like what's going on?
Yeah, it's actually crazy for real.
Yeah, I don't remember the entire month of April. Except the whole month was 420. That was like a cool thing that everyone really liked. But other than that, I'm like, what happened in April? Because usually that's like, Coachella or something like that. And you're like, okay, that's a thing that happens in April. But
Yeah, that's true.
otherwise, what's April? I don't remember most of May too, or June. And no,
Yeah.
not that
Only
much
reason
of
I
this month.
remember May is because my birthday was in May. If it wasn't for my birthday, I would have forgot as
I
well.
know. It's like, what's a birthday? Did
It,
you get to?
it's
I know. Did you get to do anything? Did you do like a Zoom party with your homies or?
yeah, it was fun. I ended up doing like a live birthday show type thing from my kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
so
like
sick.
yeah, so Easy called in, and then J Balvin called in, and when Butler and JoJo and like a bunch of friends, like artists I worked with.
That's so,
So that was fun. It was actually like a highlight for sure
yeah.
of the
It's
quarantine.
it's a good way to, make the most of the situation. It's cool to show like your friends still showing you love, They can't be there in
Yeah,
person, but they can participate in something like that and let you know that they're still out there. Because, we feel kind of alone when you're like just stuck at home. You don't have access to your friends. And some people are really suffering right now, But
Yeah.
when you have
yeah,
moments like
definitely.
that, you get to connect and you feel so like, yeah, I don't get to see my friends or my homies or whatever, but at least I can feel that they're still there. And it's nice. I mean, that's all you can do, That's all you
Yeah.
can hope for. Um, so I actually want to get into one of the first songs. So, Mr. Easy, you picked this first one. So it's Jay Dorobi, Ginger Me. And do you have any like thoughts on the song? Any reason why you want to play it? Well, I'll be
Just
playing it,
cause,
but
just cause like I did this like really cool dance to this record on Trailer, and I was just shaking my bum. I was trying to, but I couldn't. So those are my thoughts on it.
man, I'm like so bad at that shit. Like I can't do like my TikToks are so bad, and I'm like I just shouldn't be allowed to be on these. I can't do I can't do Triller. I can't do TikTok. I'm just like garbage. And there's a few people of us on the side going, I hope this tanks so that I don't have to be on it. No, but the people who are good on it, it's super funny. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm like really, you have to be talented. It's like a view. You're gonna
Yeah, I
have
think
to.
it's like it's definitely a new talent. Cause I'm like, what's really going on here? And I don't want to. I feel like I don't want to be left out. I'm like, yo, I think I need to get an instructor to help me.
I know I need an instructor, or you can get really good at it, and then you can instruct me. You should do a master class on how to be good on like TikTok or Triller or any of those places.
I need to get blown up on TikTok first, and then I start giving master classes.
Okay, all right.
Yo, Michael, new idea.
TikTok masterclass. Let's do it. We got it.
It's gonna be a good one. That started here. Don't forget. Don't forget that this is an idea that
This
started
is
here.
Toki's.
And when you guys like end up selling like hundreds of thousands of TikTok master classes, don't forget
Yeah.
about your friend.
All right. Cool.
No worries. No worries.
So let's play the song Ginger Me by Jay Dorobi. And for anyone listening, you guys can send any comments or questions in the chat and we'll answer them later. Ooh. So, Mr. Eazi, someone's actually asking, where's Jay Dorobi from?
Jay Dorobi is from Ghana.
And so, you actually released. This is released on your label, right? Is it Empower Africa?
Yeah, Empower.
Oh, I just got it. Empower. That was clever.
Yeah.
I was reading it, but I didn't get it. But I said it out loud, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Now I didn't get it. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, Jay Dorobi is from Ghana. He's like, in Ghana, dancehall is really big.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like one of the new ones coming up with like that dancehall, Afro dancehall kind of energy.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah, he's dope.
the artist.
Yeah. And this just came out. This came out this month. It must
Yeah,
have
this
been
came
earlier
out
in the
this month. I was this came out this month, and I was trying to like make it the #1 song on like trailer from my, but I couldn't just quite right.
We got to figure it out. What is the key to those things? Like, how do you do it? Like, how does it work? I don't know.
To having a thriller hit is, are you taking your notes? Hit the subscribe button for my masterclass.
Free preview.
And you get the secret. You know them ones where you're watching online and they're like, oh, we're going to tell you the secret of this, and you watch the entire video. They're not telling you any secret.
No.
And then at the end, they say, sign up to my class. You're like, oh my God.
They bamboozled you. They just like took you. They're like, let me tell you nothing, but you won't know until the end. But they also have, what is it? The whole TED Talk thing where people are just like, what if I told you? And they have that little microphone that's like right here with a little bubble on it. But it always starts off like, what if I told you? And then it just goes out into the ether. But every single one, it's not going to be one of those. It's not a master class. It's not a TED Talk unless someone says, what if I told you? And then
well,
they're supposed to blow your mind with something.
Thanks for telling me. So the next time anytime I have like a TED Talk, I'll be like, what if I told you?
Yes. Yeah.
And then what if I don't have any other thing to say? Like I just freeze there.
It's provocative.
You just say that and then you slowly just walk off stage and then it's over. And then you just that's it. That's how it works. That's how all these apps work. There's nothing to say. But yeah, so, there's this talk about, global music being this has really blown up, at least in terms of like Western culture. Now you have like J Balvin, you guys, there's yourselves, and you guys have been on sort of the front and center of this entire movement, and you guys have been releasing your own records. It's interesting, right? Because it's like this idea of music being global, like, or world music used to mean more like ethnic music, like Enya or something like that. But you guys are making modern music, dance music, urban music, whatever it may be. Do you have an idea why maybe this sound has become more prominent now? Like, what is the driving force behind the popularity? I know it's like a really esoteric question, but
Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something actually Easy and me have talked a lot about. And a big part for me is that growing up in Haiti, we would listen to Haitian music, African music from every side, West African, East African, South African, and then Latin music and American music. And the stuff that we would get in Haiti would be like the hits of every country. So we would get the best of those places that would inspire the artists that are now making music. And I do think that a lot of us now around the same age range that are working in music and are artists, and whether it's like producers or singers or rappers or whatever, we probably have very similar influences now because of the internet and because of like the artists that we looked up to. Everybody looked up to basically the same people now, right? So it's you have like that mix of local heroes and then like the international superstars that create your your sound. And yeah, it just feels like it's all that global sound is maybe like three-quarters of the world now has that same taste, which is insane. It's like so cool to think that like somebody in South Korea is going to listen to something that somebody in Nigeria is listening to, and in Haiti.
A hundred
And
percent.
that's like, to me, this is the most exciting time to be making music. And we can experiment, we can do all kinds of different mixes of genres. Like one of the cool things, like Easy and Balvin had two songs together, one with Bad Bunny and then another one on Balvin's recent album. And like having those mixes of completely different genres, but it flows so well. I think that's really what the sound of today is. It's just like everything's open.
100%. It's like this idea of globalization, right? The world was once so massive, but it's shrinking, and you can have these micro communities of micro creative communities. There could be a kid in Moscow and a kid in El Salvador. They might become friends on SoundCloud and create a sound from that. It's not so much related towards like your geolocation. And now there's a kid in San Francisco that might be listening to the music,
Yeah.
Michael, that you make, and then they might start making that too. But do you guys think that there is a fear of losing culture and context because people just like the sound? In many ways, you wonder if people just start being like, okay, let me just like buy the sample pack that's like Latin fire beats, from Chat Masters or some shit like that,
Yeah.
that they lose the context. They can figure out the formula to make the music, but the culture is not there. And, there could be some person from some city that is doing that. And do you think that's lost, or is that okay, that the sound is so global that it doesn't need context anymore?
I think that's definitely possible. And that's actually something like I've actively tried to work with as many like older generation artists that are legends in Haiti to capture and like really record and give them the respect that they deserve, because like it's because of the success of past generations of artists that we're even here today. And I think it's really easy to get you lose that culture, you lose that sound, but at the same time it's also easy to get stuck in the old ways and kind of like close out the rest of the world and say we're just going to do what we do and we're not even going to try and expand that. And so it's like finding a balance between the two. You give respect to what's come before you, but you also try and innovate and do new things. And yeah, I think that's like for actually you as well, like all three of us, like the music that we're making, I think it's like finding that balance between the roots of where you've come from,
Yeah.
incorporating that into the genre that you make or whatever sounds you make, but then also trying new things, like trying completely fresh, like unlike charted territory in your sounds.
100%. Yeah, it's just really fascinating because let's say I feel like the root of a lot of music is just rap, like hip hop, and hip hop then is based in soul and funk, and before that there's like blues and rock and roll, and you see this kind of umbrella of influences that come, and obviously a lot of modern music it originates from Black culture, and that's something that's really relevant right now with all that's going on in the States and around the world. So you wonder if hip hop is one form of of Black music, but then if you have like Latin music, Caribbean, African music, which is like so deeply rooted in culture and the space of home, you wonder if that there's a dude, like a white dude, starts to take that it will it further or detract, you know? And do you wonder if it's something that you want to protect? Like, do you want to protect this music so that it isn't, you know, taken advantage of by like industry? And, you know, like obviously these are big songs that you guys are making, and they're making record labels tons of money, and like it's a big thing. And you wonder what is the most, what is a way that the industry and people can respect the music while enjoying it?
I think like the like straight up way to respect the music is by respecting the creators, you know, respecting the artists, and you know, the respecting everybody in the ecosystem making it. And when I mean respect, I don't really like, I'm saying put your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah.
So if you respect something, you will pay for it, right? You would show that in the kind of deals you give the creators, you know. And as long as you support, because it's business in the end of the day, so
Yeah.
as long as you support the actual people creating and not like go produce, let's say you want an African sounding record, and so you go get this African kid to produce it, or you make him ghost produce, and then you're some other big producer, and then you don't give him or her credit for her production, and then you just sit on top of it. That's like how you subdue it. But like if you actually respect the creators and you like giving people their credits and paying people and putting the right investment, in the end of the day, everybody wins. And that's why like for me, I'm like the best way I can do this and be of service to everyone that comes like out after me, you know, and everybody that's even coming into the game now is by um, ensuring that there's like finance, because it's like whoever wields the, sadly whoever, just how the world is, whoever wields the economic power just basically dictates how stuff is gonna go, you know.
Yeah.
So like when I remember in Haiti, Michael played this record for me, and I was just, he's not put out the beat, is Bilolo,
Yeah.
and then I just heard it, and he was telling me how he had captured a Haitian festival, and like the whole story, like I could feel it in the record, and I just went out to start researching the festival, and that's how, like, so if that influences me to create a record out of that, it will be like when I sit down to talk about it, it will be from a place of respecting that culture. And every time I tell that story, I'm sending people back to the roots, you know. So
Yep.
I feel that that's how you kind of like do it, by actually respecting the creators.
Yeah. And I think something too, like, I don't know if Easy was going to talk about this later, but he's done a lot of amazing work, not just in Nigeria and in Ghana, like in the rest of Africa, creating a lot of equitable opportunities for artists in the region to get ownership of their records, to get better deals, to have funding for what they want to do, and like having respect for the creators, like Easy was just saying, is it's so essential if you really want to see change in the industry. You give opportunity to the people that are creating these things, and
100%.
that's like something it's been really inspiring on my end too. Is just seeing that kind of equity being created in a place that's for a very long time hasn't gotten the respect that it should have gotten, just like the Caribbean as well.
Exactly.
To see that changing with just even a few artists doing the work that they're doing to make that possible, it gives a lot of hope, and it definitely can change.
Yeah. I was having a conversation with someone, like, this is a long time ago, but they're explaining, and I'm sure you guys are aware too, you know, it's like the idea of, let's say, reggae. Reggae is almost export music because all the wealth is made outside of the country, right? You know, people travel outside of Jamaica or the Caribbean or whatever to go and tour. And I think, you know, what's happening, what I hear from you guys right now also kind of lends itself to what can we do to help the culture? Because, you know, like if Haiti or Nigeria, like all these countries, they need, where is the economic wealth for them? Like what is helping the people there? What's helping the GDP? If the money's being made elsewhere, then it's just staying there. And like what can you do to bring that back to your home country to respect the culture and the originators,
Yeah.
which I think is what you guys are doing, because now people are looking towards you guys, and it's music being made from a very authentic place with a lot of awareness of where it's coming from. It's not just you guys are making beats and no one knows. Like Michael, you're very, very poignant about saying that you're Haitian, you make Haitian music, and I've listened to your other music too. You have a very wide range of things that you make. You have gone towards like big electronic dance, huge festival music, and then this music that just has a different like angle, and there's nothing wrong with either of it. Obviously, like I make a variety of music as well. And for you, what made you decide to start making music that was more rooted in your Haitian culture? Because I know you're making making tunes with like Tiesto or something. They're like big like someone's in the audience like eating Molly and just like rolling around. It's like like you have, and you're like obviously a very talented producer in that, because you can go and do that. Not a lot of people could. But I was curious, like what made you decide to kind of look inward?
I think part of it was, surprisingly, I've been doing this professionally for almost 10 years now, which is pretty wild because that's like flew by and I can't believe it. But I started young. I started when I was 19. And so getting into music production when electronic music was like just getting really popular worldwide, like my influences were Daft Punk and Swedish House Mafia and like like everything between 2006 and 2012, like all of it in between, Bloghouse and like everything that was like all these different genres.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the era
there's
when
like
everywhere wore those glasses that looked like this, but no one could see through them. That was like a very specific era.
Exactly. So like all that stuff like was really inspiring. And when I started, that was the music that I felt like I could make well. So I started doing that, and it went from that into progressive house, and then like doing the big festival stuff, like you're saying. But then along the path, like when the first 5 years of me making music, and then having some success doing it and getting to play like Ultra and EDC and Tomorrowland and all these different things, like that was amazing. But I also felt like I was trying to make a genre of music that was not really mine. Like it felt like it was Swedish, or it was like German, or like some occasionally it would have like UK influences, or but like I loved house music. Like I loved Chicago, I loved New York, like I love sounds from America, but like classic stuff. And I was just like so inspired by that I tried to chase it in the beginning, and eventually it made a lot more sense to me that these people, like my favorite artists in all these different genres, they made music about themselves, about their stories, about where they come from, and that's what made it so special. So when I realized that, I was like, I'm just gonna make what I know, which is Haiti mixed with the rest of the world, Guyana mixed with the rest of the world, the Caribbean, the stuff I was listening to that was coming from Latin America and from Africa as well, and like I'm just gonna fuse all these things and create my story. And so that's where the switch came in, actually, where I started my more recent, like my last album, and getting to produce a lot of records recently. That's where the influence comes from, and it feels like a new chapter for me. It really feels like stuff that connects with me on a very deep level.
That's amazing. I think as many creators would agree, we are just a product of all our influences, and culture, all the music that, if you're listening to Velvet Rope, Janet Jackson, that's going to be in there. It'll be hiding in there. If you've been listening to Swedish House Mafia, it'll be hiding in there, whether people hear it or not. It could be a mixed technique. It could be a sound. But, your culture is the special edge that no one else will have, Like your familiarity with Haitian music is not something that maybe a German guy will know as well. Though it could switch. Maybe there's a German guy, a Swedish person somewhere out there that's going to start making this music. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but that's the cool part. You get to connect with all these different people and hear their stories, and you learn.
100%.
And what you said about, sorry? You were about to go?
Oh, no.
Okay, I was
go ahead.
like what really struck me from like just listening to you was how you was talking about Jamaica, and how like I only knew Jamaica because of reggae and dancehall, and I wanted to go to Jamaica just because of reggae and dancehall. Like I didn't know where. I never tried to find out. Okay, where's this place on the map? Like how? Like I was just obsessed with going to Jamaica just because of the music. And on my birthday last year, I just gave myself the gift of going to Jamaica to play and perform in Jamaica at some fest. So you see how like the music, even though like the music is from this in terms of size, I'm from Nigeria, how big Nigeria is, Jamaica is like a smaller island nation, but the power of the music has not just gotten me way far away listening to it, but also like going back. And I think that's just the power uh, of music in how it connects people. And in some ways, like all them dancehall records and reggae records have even influenced the kind of music I make. And so yeah, and I think it's beautiful in that way, like what you were saying, how it's hidden somewhere inside of you. You don't even know, maybe it's the technique. And I think it's just one of the most beautiful things in the world for you to be doing your thing, and knowing that it will inspire some other people somewhere. And so you just have to take the responsibility to be real and say, hey, this is Nigerian music, this is Haitian music,
Yeah.
yeah.
100%. Which actually leads me to the next song I want to play. So this is, Michael, this is your pick. It's Inside by Steve Lacy. I love this song. I love Steve Lacy. So I'm really excited to
Same.
play this one. I have a good story about him.
Gotta hear that after.
It's actually like a really heartwarming story, but it'll be a good one.
Meet me outside of my palace. Don't need no approval, girl, you valid. Let's make out right about my violence. Don't watch me do it, close your eyelids. Inside, inside, tell me is it inside? Inside, inside, tell me is it inside? My darling, inside, inside, tell me is it inside? Inside, inside, tell me is it inside? My darling. Damn, now we moving kinda fast. It's cool, I guess you get a pass. I'ma kiss your neck and grab your ass. And when I do it, I'ma make it last. Yeah, yeah, inside, inside, tell me it's inside. Inside, inside, tell me it's inside. My darling, inside, inside, tell me it's inside.
So, Michael, what does this song mean to you? Or, I mean, I know that's also like a very kind of vague question to ask, but is there something that about the song that really speaks to you?
I thought it was pretty funny because like everybody's been stuck inside for a while right now, so that's like part of it. But I think on like a musical level, Steve Lacy, a lot of the stuff he's done is just like garage band, like recording on his phone, like recording vocals and guitars and everything super basic, but making it sound fresh. And that's like one of my favorite things when I'm working on projects It's like, and Easy knows this when we've worked on music together. It's like the instant take, like whatever's in the moment.
Yeah.
That's like that's my favorite. Like
Yeah.
I love like exactly that first take almost like what you end up doing, even if it's on a voice note or something. Um, and that's been a big part of the process for myself. And I think Steve Lacy's like one of the best to do it in that style. So love the song and yeah, just great
Yeah.
vibe.
It's so good. I actually went on tour. It was like a big tour. So in Australia and New Zealand, they have lots of those like touring festivals where it's like the same group of artists will travel to each city because there's only like 7 cities that you can tour down there. And so I had played this festival called Laneway. So on Laneway it was like Anderson Paak, The Internet, me, Odessa, Bonobo, Moses Sumney, and
It's a great lineup.
yeah, like War on Drugs and some people like that. But they were like this little posse, and I hadn't met like any of the people in The Internet prior. Obviously, I love their music, and like they used to come to Low End Theory, which was like a venue that I would play a lot. And Steve Lacy, like I go up to him, I'm like, oh, I really love your music, and he's like, oh, telling me the story that he had gone to see me play at some like weird Guitar Center convention in Long Beach. And I remember it because I was outside. I don't know why I played it, but I was like outside. There was like 3 people there. And he said he went with his dad. And he was like, because he's fairly young too.
Yeah,
Right?
he's
So,
young.
like,
Yeah.
so like he was like, I don't know. He was like 14, or he was saying how like he was like pretty young and he went there. It was with his dad. He like watched me perform. He was like, yeah, after I saw you, that was the first time I bought like a MIDI controller. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So that's my story. It's not a
That's
bad
pretty
story.
awesome.
It's a
Yeah.
really cute story. So in terms of like the weird, tiny, minuscule ways that you have any kind of influence on anyone, I'm like, oh yeah, I get to say that. He bought an MPD or like something because he saw me play outside to like 4 people, and I guess 2 out of 4 was him and his dad. This is a long time ago too, but I thought that was really cute.
No, that's awesome. That reminds me of my first ever gig I did when I was 15 years old, and
They
I
even
got
let you in the
asked.
club?
Well, it was in a club. This was in Haiti.
Oh yeah.
So it was like the seniors in my high school in Haiti were like so they're promoting some shows and stuff, but they would like rent out a venue in Haiti and then sell tickets and then they'd make a show. And I was starting to DJ on Virtual DJ, and so they were like, "Yo, we like your mixes, man. You should come play." I was like, "Oh, are you serious? Like, that's so cool." And so they invited me to come play, and I had like the opening set, and my dad took me, and my dad literally stood up behind me, like his arms crossed while I was DJing. I'm pretty sure I saw my backpack on when I was DJing too and everything. But it was really fun. And then that was my first ever thing, and started doing a lot more after that.
That's so amazing. Your dad's back there like he's like your muscle, like semi
Yeah,
making sure no bad shit happens. He's like your security guard.
it felt like it. It felt like it.
Yeah. Easy. What do you remember your first show performing?
Oh, first show performing.
It's never the nicest, but
Yeah. I remember the first one. I think I
ooh,
what's
glitching
that
out.
one? I think it was like in uni. I wasn't even like full time. I wasn't really. I wouldn't call myself. I wouldn't say I wasn't. I was like an artist there. Like it wasn't my career. But like I remember what happened was I was a promoter in uni in college, and then the artist didn't show up. All 3 artists didn't show up, and I had recorded something with my roommates in his studio, and just to buy time, like everybody was pissed. Like everybody was like, I need my money back." And so I just came up with the mic and I just started performing songs that were recorded. And everybody was like, "Is this guy serious?" Like imagine like the promoter just imagine like one of your shows, you don't show up and the promoter goes and stops performing. Like I'm surprised like I didn't get beat up. I think we ran away. We ran away from I I ran away from my own party.
You could do the masterclass from promoter to artist.
I know. There you go. And you kind of did the same thing. You had stayed there the whole time, and at the very end, you like pulled a fast one on everyone.
No. Like I like. Oh my god! I shouldn't have said this. Like,
Well, everyone should be thankful now because like they got to see you at your very
yeah,
first
you
performance,
guys
and look where you ended
Yeah.
up.
see me for cheap. Like, but no, it wasn't funny. Like, I remember after performing, I was still hanging around, and my friend OC, shout out to OC. OC just came to me. He's like, "Bro, you got to get out of here now."
Damn.
And we didn't even go back to our hotel. We went to like
The next city.
campus to go hide in somebody's room. Shout out, I've forgotten his name, but he's an artist. He's an artist now. Like he hid us in his room. Everybody, people was looking for us everywhere. They're like, "Yo, we need to find these guys." But in the end, I think we did a lot of refunds as well. But it wasn't our fault.
Yeah, you did the best that you could, you know?
Yeah.
It's always
that-
an angry
That
mom.
was I think that might have been, at least that's what I can remember. That might have been my first performance.
That's amazing.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
You had to
I need-
run and hide.
I need to put that, like, when I write a book, I need to tell that.
Yeah, that deserves in a biography for sure. That's so good. This is actually the portion of our set where we talk about food. Did you guys prepare anything to eat?
I think I've been eating nuts. I ordered food and just classic. Like, I ordered
Nice.
food from. Okay, so guess what? They just texted me that the kitchen had closed. Blah blah blah. Like I'm trying to do. I was telling my assistant, like, you know how, I don't know about you guys. I was telling Michael the other day, like, Corona belly. Like, I was just in lockdown and I was cooking and I was enjoying cooking. It was like therapeutic for me. But I was just eating so much. And I would eat like at 4 a.m. like just before I go to bed. And one day I was about to go into the shower and there's like this huge mirror in my house. And I looked in the mirror, I'm like, whose belly is that? You know, and so now I'm trying to like get on a diet and I'm not eating like I'm fasting actually. I'm
Oh.
only eating like at 6, just once at 6.
Corona belly is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
It's the COVID-19, you know what I mean? Like everyone's put on about that much. Though me and my friends agree, like if everyone gains like 15 pounds, then it's like no one gained any weight at all.
Exactly.
That's a good solution, I think. You know?
Exactly. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister's been staying with me, and she's an amazing cook. Like, she could be a future chef if she wanted to. And so every day, basically, we've been eating really great meals. And she'll make like cookies and cake and like all kinds of stuff too. So yeah, definitely have the COVID-19
Yeah.
as well. So Easy and me got to do boxing classes, so we got ready for the.
Yo,
For the-
I've told you, Michael, like we need to like, I don't know, I need to, you know, you were inviting me to New York. I need to come and then we need to like have this boxing.
We'll do a fight night. That's
Fight
right. Toki, you can come through.
Okay, cool. Just have you patch me in on the Zoom, you know? Well, let's have not Zoom, but what is it? Do you remember? You guys remember Taibo? Was that a thing where you guys were?
In front of the TV.
Yeah, it's like oh, okay, like internet kickboxing. So if the master class doesn't work, then you can be you can be a boxing instructor on Zoom.
This is also a masterclass. This is the masterclass of masterclasses.
This is like the most meta masterclass that's ever happened. It's a masterclass within a masterclass. For everyone who's watching, right before we got on air, Easy had like boxing gloves on, and he was like in the back, like kind of like ready to box us out. I mean,
I was
digitally,
ready to
virtually.
show my skills.
I feel like I want to learn how to box and like surprise people and be like, yeah, I can like kick your ass. But like no one ever thinks that when they look at me. They're not like, Toki looks like she can kick someone's ass, And they're probably not thinking that. But
Toki,
maybe I
that's
should change some minds.
that's the killer thing. So they won't see it coming. Like boom, boom, knockout, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah, you don't
boom.
know what's underneath these big sleeves, It's just
Nah,
like massive, biceps.
that's your
or something.
advantage. It's your advantage.
But
Just
yeah,
like rips.
I hear nuts like are good to line the belly. So I have these nuts from Nigeria,
Oh, cool.
roasted peanuts. I was so surprised they were from Nigeria. I didn't even know. And so like yeah, that's what I'm eating. Like this is what I've been eating like just this evening. Maybe I've had too much.
Nuts are tricky. It's like a tricky thing, right? They're like,
Yeah.
it's really good for you, but you're supposed to eat like 10 of them. I think you're supposed to eat like this tiny amount. You've eaten like an entire bag of like, I don't know, some pistachios or
Yeah.
something.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna like. I was saying I'm gonna get a dietitian to like draw out a diet for me so that I need to lose this corona belly because I want to be an underwear model in Times Square. That's my ultimate dream.
You
So
could do it before and after, because like we're still stuck in this. So
oh
maybe
my
there's the
God.
first half of it where you gain the weight, and then you do the second half where you lose the weight, and then you put it on Triller, and then you like win the internet because everyone likes a good before and after. Yeah,
That's it. That's
that's.
it.
I'm out here scheming, I'm like, how are we gonna make it out? How are musicians gonna survive Corona, like the quarantine travel bans? We have to be
Underwear
creative.
models.
Yeah. Everyone loves a good before and after, You just
Yeah.
have like, here's me when I had gained 19 pounds, and then here's me after like I got all swole afterwards. I would click like on that. I don't know if that makes anyone any money, but maybe you can sell gummy bears or like teeth whitening. I don't know. You can become an influencer and sell skinny tea, or I don't know. I don't know. Like I don't
Yeah,
know what like
you
dude influencers do, but yeah.
yo, that's a good idea. And then I could just create my own slimming tea, and I'm just like, this was me before. This is me after. Secret, Mr. Eazi Slimming Tea to eradicate all corona belly. Ta-da!
That's the next one, and then there's going to be a master class for how you did that too.
There you go.
Yeah. Michael, did you get any food or nah?
Oh, so my sister is making lasagna actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's almost done, but she's making that. So that because we've been eating so much, like locally actually, and cooking. To be fair, she's cooking, and I'm trying to. I learn like once in a while some stuff, but yeah. So that's dinner. I don't know if it's ready yet, but that's what she was doing. Yeah.
At some point, we'll get to see it.
Yeah, we'll do a shot.
Yo, Michael, I need to. I'm coming to the house because you just have like your sister is giving you that chef. That chef. Like, I'm busy. I'm busy here ordering from my phone. You're busy getting like home.
He's eating peanuts, and you're getting homemade lasagna. You
Yeah,
gotta share.
it's a blessing.
So for anyone who hasn't seen this program before, usually I like kind of went ahead without explaining. We use this portion of the show to order delivery from restaurants we want to support because obviously it's a really difficult time for a lot of restaurants. Many musicians also choose to cook for themselves during this time because they either live really remotely or they're using this time as a moment to work on their cooking skills or get more healthy. I've been doing in between, but I use this show as my opportunity to order the most food possible, sometimes healthy. Today's an in between. So I'm trying to do my part to eat less meat. So I'm not like fully vegan, but I'm trying to take breaks. So I ordered from this place called Native Foods, and they have one in Palm Springs. They have I think they have a few of them in LA, but let me hook you guys up with what I'm eating. So these are nachos. Beep.
Ah,
They look
Yeah.
they're soggy now because I ordered them like an hour ago, but I'm still gonna eat them. I'm gonna call them like vegan Mexican lasagna at this point, but I think that's like cashew cheese. There's like these pickled. There's like a fruit fly trying to come into my food. It won't be vegan anymore if the fly goes in it. There's beans, cilantro, corn, and then on top of that, I got this stuff which I think is supposed to be like cauliflower orange chicken. Do you guys ever have a moment where you just really want orange chicken? Like straight up, just like Panda Express. Like you're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna eat that. So I attempted to make that decision in a healthy way. So if you can see, they're fried nuggets of cauliflower, and there's
I love cauliflower.
Yeah, it looks good.
yeah, and there's basically fried rice, but then instead of eggs, they like crumble tofu in it. It doesn't taste like orange chicken. There's no sauce on it. I ate some of it before the show. I'm not supposed to do that, but I do it every time anyways because I get so hungry. And then on top of that, I ordered this. So this is fries and basically a hot chicken sandwich, kind of like not Nashville style, but I believe it's vegan. So I have no idea what kind of chicken is in it. But
that creeps me out. Totally. Like when they say vegan chicken. Like I'm like, why are you calling me vegan chicken? I then start thinking maybe there's like something like I don't know, my brain starts taking me, okay, why does it taste like chicken? Like I went to my friend's house and he said everything I was eating was vegan. But I swear this tasted like pork. And I was like, how is this possible? And then I just started thinking, okay, maybe there's like all sorts of conspiracy theories. I was like, please don't call it vegan pork anymore. Just call it whatever it is,
It's its own thing now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not sure if this is one of those things where it's like fake chicken or if it's like a food that they made into the flavor. Like this is cauliflower, like, but it's like fake orange chicken, but not chicken, where it's like you don't know what's inside it. To be honest, sometimes it tastes better. Have you ever had like a Beyond Burger? Sometimes
They're actually really
yeah,
good.
it hits.
Sure.
Really good. Yeah, the lasagna is made with Beyond Burger sausage, so it's like a vegan lasagna actually.
Yeah, I'm like kind of obsessed with it. I had to Google once to be like, is it that okay to eat Beyond Meat that often? I went and Googled it multiple times. They're like,
Is it?
Well, they said it's better than eating a real burger. So if you're going to eat a burger versus the Beyond, you're still better off. But I guess you're not supposed to eat either of them that much.
Yeah, I cut out a lot of meat consumption over the last like year, so I do it maybe like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I usually eat fish, shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been good. It feels good.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of entering this new age of enlightenment, and it's nice to know that you're doing your part to be good to the planet Earth and good to yourself, because I'm sure like eating a burger every single day is not that good for you.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, but there's nothing else to do during coronavirus, so I mean. I don't know.
Definitely.
Let's play the next song. I've been just like being distracted. Oh, actually, not the next song. Let's actually bring in our guest, Alex. So Alex is from 72 and Sunny. Is he still hanging out? There he goes.
What's up, everybody?
Hey.
Yo, what's up?
Thanks for hanging on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. I'm
Yeah,
big fans of everybody, so it's cool to be here.
We're big fans of you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Alex, why don't you explain to the people watching right now what exactly is it that you do, and yeah, I mean,
yeah,
even I'm curious.
Yeah, so I work for 72 and Sunny. It's a full service advertising agency. We have 5 offices across the globe: New York, LA, Sydney, Amsterdam, and Singapore. And we have some like pretty big name clients, but specifically what I do is diversity and inclusion. So I work pretty much behind the scenes, trying to make sure that everyone in our office, that our office is representative of the world that we live in. So that means brown folks, Black folks, LGBTQIA, and that there's a balance of that, and then more than that, that the work that we're putting out is representative of the world that we live in. So that how the brands and the clients that we have, how are they putting out this work, and how is it kind of really reflective of the reality of this country?
Interesting. So
yeah.
then, in general, like, how do you both choose to navigate which brands you work with? You know, how do you balance the brand's needs with your own creative needs?
Right. That's kind of like an ongoing kind of the discussion, especially now given everything that's happening with Black Lives Matter and this kind of social unrest that the world is kind of experiencing. It's how the brands that we choose to partner with and create as for how are they kind of working to uplift the communities. I think that we've always, in the past we've seen, especially recently, we've seen all these big name brands kind of, post a black square on Instagram saying, I support Black Lives Matter. But what are they doing to actually uplift these communities, which they say they support? So it's an ongoing discussion. And I think that how we choose our brand partners moving forward is going to be in that lens of, are they really doing the work to uplift the community? So
100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an accountability, right? Because you're like, if they're gonna go and say we care, because I saw this huge Procter and Gamble commercial, but it didn't say it at the end though. It was just like uplifting voices and like women and POC and black and white, and it was like this really beautiful thing at the very end. It's like, go to this website, and it was kind of, it had this like Voices Matter or something like that, but on the bottom was like Procter and Gamble, and I was like, oh, all right, I don't know how to feel about that. I think they're trying,
Yeah.
With you, Michael and Eazi, what is, like, I'm sure you guys have worked with brands before and have done alliances. It's a really common thing to do, and many times you want to align with the brands that you work with. What has your experience been like working with brands? Do you have moments where you're like, I draw the line at that, I'm not going to do a diaper commercial, like whatever it may be?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to work with always brands that somehow connect with who I am, and if it's not, then there's like no amount of money that really makes sense to do something that doesn't align with you as an artist or as a person. Actually, most of the brands I've worked with are Caribbean brands, or from Haiti. So like I really tried my best to do that. And then if it's outside of that, then there's some reason that it makes sense with what I believe in.
100%. What about you, Eazi? What is your experience working with brands or sponsorships, things like that?
Yeah, I think I've been just like Michael. I've just been lucky to work with like brands that 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 I like and that just kind of align. Um, and so and so it's been, yeah, it's been beautiful to be able to do that, especially like in Africa where most of my campaigns are. Um, it's not much of it's always not much of it's not as much as it is an issue, because like everyone is being represented, like you know who's signing the check, you know who's giving you the deal. You get on set and you see your own people there. So if you work from that, I think where the shock might be, or sometimes is getting on a different set and then realizing that, oh, you're the only one there. You're like, okay, and so that's where you get shocked. But I've been lucky to work with brands, especially back home, that just align, you know.
Totally. Then, let's see. At which point did you start to get approached by brands in your career? Do you think there are some good and bad ways to work with brands? So, Alex, what's your opinion on that professionally? Because obviously, sometimes it's hard for artists to navigate like what they should do, because you're an artist, you're given an opportunity. Sometimes you don't know if it's worth doing or not.
Right. Um, I think now it's especially important for a lot of artists, whether they're musicians or whether they're photographers, directors, producers, etc., to kind of make sure, like Eazi said, that the brand is aligned with their values. Because I think there's a very thin line between brands that are, supporting the reality of the artist, especially if they're Black and brown people, and exploiting them. Like if you look at, gosh, you can count a lot of different brands that kind of utilize Black culture and Latinx culture, and make a lot of money off of it, but don't really do anything to kind of support it. So, some artists have a little bit more weight in who they can kind of sign on with. A lot of others are, especially if you're looking for like for freelance photographers, etc. They're going where the money is, and they're not really going to have that kind of filter on them. But when we look at, for example, Nike, they just they put out in 2008 Air Force One. It's called like De Lo Mio, and it's kind of like paying homage to Dominican Republic and uptown New York, that kind of culture that really uplifted the brand. But there's been a lot of like conversations around that. It's like, okay, what is Nike doing for Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, especially in the wake of Hurricane Maria? So I think these are a lot of questions that artists have to or should ask themselves when it comes to signing on with brands.
Exactly, because the artist also holds a lot of like weights, right? If you're Rihanna and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll work with whatever brand, but you need to make sure that everyone working on this campaign is a person of color, or there has to be diversity. So you have that that opportunity once you reach a certain level to ask that of your brands. How do you actually choose which artists to involve in campaigns, at least for the company the agency that you work for?
Right, it's a pretty long process. I mean, even just kind of short it, like a 30-second spot can be anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months to a year of planning, and there's strategy involved in figuring out who the best kind of artist it is to kind of partner. And then a lot of it kind of boils down to the brand identity. One of our clients is Smirnoff, and one of the faces of Smirnoff United States is Laverne Cox. And that was a very kind of concerted effort on Smirnoff's part, because they want to be a brand that is inclusive. They want to be a brand that talks about LGBTQIA issues and Black issues. And having folks like Laverne Cox be the face of that brand really kind of aligns with their ideals. So when it came time to like choosing who they wanted on that spot, we had to go with the most authentic person, in a sense, too. Like
100%.
The person who's really working to advance, trans rights issues.
Exactly, and that's our opportunity to kind of put their money where their mouth is, right? If you want to say that you support, then you should be paying for a diverse team. You should be paying Eazi what he's worth. You should be paying Michael. You should be paying myself. Anyone who offers something. If you're trying to promote a certain ideal, then I think that's a really important thing. Because a conversation I've been having with these artists, multiple artists, is what can we do to hold accountability on ourselves as artists. The industry, advertising is another area, but within music, the responsibility of bookers and agents and promoters and the press and all forms of media, because if you see representation in an ad, like if you see Laverne Cox, for a big Smirnoff campaign, then other, younger trans people, they'll just be like, wow, that's cool. That could be me, one day. I don't feel like I'm not capable of achieving that level of success. And that's really important. Let's see. Do you think that brands are opening up to working with more global artists at this point?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think that brands would be making a big mistake if they didn't kind of open up to, more global centered artists. Because that's the way that the world is kind of trending. the world is, because of the proliferation of technology and social media and everything like that. The country United States isn't as insular as it used to be. We're looking towards the Caribbean, we're looking towards Africa, and Europe, and outside in Asia and outside of that, to kind of get a lot of inspiration. And that's also where a lot of some of the biggest brands are centered, and that's where they're starting to come from. So if a brand is trying to expand their reach, expand their market, then they really got to go meet people where they are, and where people are right now is all over the world. So
100%.
yeah, they absolutely got to do it.
Yeah. Even the conversation we were having earlier about this global music concept, and global music, not world music. There's a lot of fallacies in using the term world music, which again could also mean like Enya. It could mean like pan flute music from Peru. It can mean anything, and there's just so much more to the music happening everywhere in the world. And I know there's kids in Brazil listening to K-pop. I know that there are people in America listening to Haitian music, Nigerian music from Ghana. South Africa has a wonderful house music scene. All these things that are happening, and I think it is important for everyone to do their part, including brands. So it's interesting that you have this creative agency that kind of serves to kind of create a diversity within that world realm. I suppose with brands having more diversity, with the diversity that they can then promote themselves, but also promote a greater ideal. Do you think that there's a point at which you would decline a brand if you felt like they were being inauthentic, or?
I think so.
Yeah, because I imagine they can't always be coming from a good place too. Maybe they're just like, inclusive is hot right now. Let's like do that. Let's get all these people in an ad together, and it's like some bullshit. It's like not coming from a good place.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been instances where we turned down brands because they didn't kind of reflect the values that we have at 72 and Sunny. We are a diverse workspace with a bunch of different people. Like our Amsterdam office alone, there's 40 different nationalities, 20 plus different languages spoken. So, if we're coming with a brand that's politics are a little fucked up, and the people who are working on these brands don't really aren't comfortable with it, that's something that I think we would absolutely turn down. And I think that we see that a lot with what's happening right now is there's kind of just this, if they're not really about the movement, if they're not really about creating equity, then we don't have to work with you. And I think that's kind of what's different about this time is how social justice and racial justice right now, there's an economic impact to it. Brands are afraid to not support Black Lives Matter right now. And we saw it with like Goya products recently. There's this massive backlash. And I'm Haitian too, so like like I grew up like I grew up eating like Goya beans or like Caribbean markets, everything like that. But now it's just this massive backlash because the head of that company, one of the founders, the CEO of that company, is outwardly supporting someone a regime, a president who is actively victimizing and hurting Latinx communities. So there's a lot of power in advertising and in media, and the people who are working in those sectors right now are actively pushing back.
I actually have an interesting question because, your agency is on the side of good and awareness and inclusiveness. Are there agencies like, who is Goya going to right now? Like, is there someone down like an alt-right, terrible, like whatever person? Like, there has to be someone for everyone, right? So if I'm like, I want to sell my racist beans to someone, I don't know, whatever it might be, like I have to be able to call someone to go then push my agenda and my brand. So, I mean, I don't really know that much about, like ad agencies and that, but are there people on that side?
I think so. I mean, I think at the end of the day, this is money. And if there's a brand that has a lot of money that they're willing to spend, they're going to find a home regardless. I think that, there's definitely more conservative ad agencies and creative agencies. I personally can't really name too many, but they're out there. And
we don't need to
they
name
definitely,
them.
yeah. Even though I
cares?
really want to.
Yeah.
But they're out there, and where there's money, they're gonna find a market, you know.
Oh,
So
that's so shady.
I know it really is.
You know, I want to say thank you so much for joining us, and this is super enlightening. I mean, I really am grateful that you're doing your part to kind of push this society in like a really good direction. So
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
thank you. Yeah, absolutely. And
Right.
next, I want to be able to play another song from you guys. So we have this J Balvin song, Una Dia. And this is Eazy's pick. What's the vibe with this song? It was released also this year.
Yeah. I think like for me, I think this is like one of my favorite songs right now. You know, and I just love the way like Balvin uses them cartoons and animation. And like I love animations, like I love cartoons, and the whole theme of the song just takes me back to young Easy, just like having no worries in the world, just like So I love the energy; it's very positive, especially in this time when a lot of people are you know not in a good place. I think the energy, the positive energy the song brings is just like needed right now.
Cool. So listen to the song Una Dia by J Balvin.
You know that sometimes
I'm going to be eating my food on the side, just so you guys know.
You're good.
but I never wanna fall again. Ah.
Yo no te quisiera olvidar, pero contigo es todo una. Yeah, yeah.
You're deep in water, you're drowning us. You question my love like it's not enough. But I hate that you got me tied up. You regret it now, but it's your mistake. What makes you think that my mind will change? And you hate that you messed up. One day you'll love me again. One day you'll love me for sure. One day you'll wake up feeling how I've been feeling, baby. You'll knock at my door. One day you'll love me again till the end. One day you'll beg me to try. One day you'll realize I'm more than your lover. I'm more than your lover.
Acércate
I'm
un
your
poquito
friend.
nomás, que yo quiero que te quedes conmigo. Deja a tus amigas ahí atrás, que nos vamos
It's
a
like every time I hear it, I just hear you.
Nos vamos pa'
Yeah.
Tokigos, y allí calmamos las ganas. Suéltate conmigo, mamá, que ya no hay marcha atrás. Una noche sin ti no es tan fácil, baby. Que yo soy pa' ti y tú eres pa' mí. Nunca me dejes de querer. Oh, na, na, na. Contigo por
By the way, I heard that you guys went to J Balvin's birthday party, so you guys are gonna have to tell me something about that.
That was Michael's birthday. I didn't have my pizza to be honest.
Yeah, that was really fun actually. Really fun. He like rented out this villa in the DR,
Uh-huh.
and we all like it was like 30 people, all his family and like friends. We just spent some time there. Like he had Salt Bay come and cook meat. It's
Was it
crazy.
good?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
Okay, good. That at least he lives up to the hype. That's actually something I like.
Yeah,
Did he do
so
the-
it was like,
Did he have to do the
it was,
thing? Yeah.
it did and then
He's been pigeonholed now. For the rest of that guy's life, he has to do this when he can't just like
did.
put salt on it anymore. He has to
but
do it.
he never got out of character. That was the craziest part. The whole time he was on the island, he was in character with the glasses, and I was like, wait, I was like, kind of like looking to see if he would ever break character and become, like not a meme, and
Yeah.
it was he held it through the whole time.
Do you think he's
Yeah.
authentically being himself, or he's staying in character?
he's either the best actor in the whole world, or that's actually him. Like that's the thing, is because he didn't break. He was that person the entire time
That's
on
so
the
crazy.
island. Yeah, it was great. It
Was he
fun.
just hanging around then? Was he also just like chilling? Because he's not making
Yeah.
salted steak all the time, right?
No. So we went down. It was like a 3-day thing, and he came down the second day, played some pool. He was like chilling, and then he cooked. He cooked that night, and then it was like a gold-plated steak fillet thing, and then I DJ'd after, and everybody was just chilling. So it was actually like it was like a mix of like a vacation and a birthday party. It was really cool.
It seems kind of like wellness, or it seems wholesome, but I'm sure, I don't know. You don't need to share everything.
No. For real though, he's like genuinely such a nice person. Balvin, like he's like one of the nicest people I've met, and like just takes care of his people really well. Makes sure to like meditating, trying to keep vibes good, food options, like really take care of everybody around him. He like almost his entire staff for his tour, because Easy Me opened for his tour. It was like 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, and he basically his whole staff is Colombian, which is like another really cool thing that I appreciated. Is
super
it
cool.
would be way cheaper to just hire local staff but he really wants to promote Colombia and promote where he's from and like help his community. So I give him a lot of respect for it.
Yeah, that's incredible to even hear that. You know, he's doing his part to lift up his own people. That's super sick. I actually saw like a little clip of him showing off his house that he built in Medellin. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was on Architectural Digest, and I was like, it had like popped on my Instagram, and I'm like, whose house is that? And I was like, oh, J Balvin's, and it's just this really demure, very minimal Japanese style home. You know, super zen, except when you see like some of the Murakami stuff in there. But I was like, I don't know, I just assumed that his house would be green or something. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect at the moment. But
His videos are very colorful. Like he's very colorful. Yeah, I think I love Balvin. It's like big brother, and very genuine, very very genuine. I think I was talking to him like maybe yesterday, and it's so crazy how Michael connected. Is the only reason like I know Balvin is because of Michael, because like it's so random. I went to Haiti and I met for a gig, and then I met Michael, and then we've just been on this adventure. Michael, you know, there's a song This is so funny. I was in Cuba. We've not put out a song. We've got to put it out this year. I was in Cuba, and then I was at the club, and I kept on like going from club to like club hopping, and then I asked the taxi driver, you know, them cool taxis. I was like, how do you say shake your bum? How do you say wiggle your bum? And then I sent Michael a voice note like, "We need to cool up, we need to
and then we made a song out of it.
And Michael just took my voice note, like he didn't even change it. Boom, and I boom, 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 boom. As when I heard the beat, and now we have this rapper from India called Bacha on it, and it's like, hey, I'm a Nigerian boy, and I start the song singing in Spanish, and then I go to my verse where I'm singing in English, Yoruba, and some Spanish. Yoruba is like my tribe, and that's the language. And then back to Spanish. Most of the song is Spanish, but just because I was hanging out in Cuba, and then I've been hanging out with J Balvin, Sky, and Sky is like, J Balvin is like, you're Latino guy, and then there's the Indian verse that comes, and this guy's verse is so good. I was so pissed when I heard this verse. I was like, this verse is so good.
Is the rapper rapping in Indian?
Yeah. So
I think he's rapping in maybe.
I think it's Hindi.
Sorry, no, yeah.
But he's that's another crazy link, because I Easy met him and I met him at two separate times.
Yeah.
But then Yeah, but then we were like, "Yo, have you met Eazi?" And he's like, "Have you met Michael?" And then we ended up working on this track together. So I don't know. It'll come out this year hopefully, but it's
Yeah, this
I
year,
can't
I think
wait.
maybe like October we need to. Don't
yeah,
worry, I finished the song. It's because I sent it to there's this reporter called Sarah Rosati. I sent it to her and she was like, I shouldn't say Menia to Coolio. I should say Mueve.
mueve tu culo. Yeah.
And I was like, and I've just been yeah, I might do it like after this call. Just go say Mueve.
Do you guys speak any Spanish? I mean, just working a lot with
Alvin does.
Latin artists.
Michael does though.
I'm like fourth grade, fifth grade level Spanish.
You can
It's like
you
yeah.
can ask for a pizza. There's a lot you can do with fourth grade level of
Yeah,
any language. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's passable. I spent a lot of weeks with Balvin and the whole crew and like Sky and different people like in Colombia and then on the tour in New York and I, like for a long time in the beginning I just sit at the table and just like nod, it's like yeah, like trying to understand the Spanish that's fine. Yeah, I know enough. I know enough to get by, but it's like when you speak fast, it's a whole different thing than when you're speaking like calmly. And so I learned a lot of like slang now because of that and just like picking up on
Nice.
picking up on the language. I'm trying though. It's work, but it's worth it for sure.
A new language is a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even, let's play another song. I know we're getting a little shorter on time, so I want to make sure we pick a really good one. Let's pick this other one. Easy. You actually picked this one too. It's actually one of your songs. I know. Go give up on you.
Oh, you pronounced it well.
And I was reading it. I was like making sure I was literal because you never know. So let's hear this one. You can tell us a little story about it too.
It's your boy Eazi. Zaga what? Zaga dance.
Jersey on the beat.
Them no dey propose for club, but your body puts me on the spot. Before another person go come take your love. Oh, I must lose you to my shot. You sweet me like Moscato, body shape like Coca-Cola. You be the way you do me so. You must follow me go. Oh, sweet me like Moscato, your body shape like Coca-Cola. The way you do me so, baby, I no go give up on you. 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 Baby, I dey eye for your body. You dey make I dey feel so jolly. Baby, now you dey eye me. Oh, baby, tell me why me. Baby, I dey eye for your body. You dey make I dey feel so jolly. Baby, now you dey eye me. Oh, baby, tell me why me. Them no dey propose for club, but your body puts me on the spot. Before another person go come take your love. Oh, I must lose you to my shot. Sweet me like
Actually,
Moscato.
both of you guys are from places where there are really nice beaches, but you guys now are in places that do not have nice beaches. I almost feel really bad for you guys.
What are we doing?
You're in London and then you're in Brooklyn. It's like not necessarily the most swimmable beaches in
No.
proximity. Yeah.
I'm like the moment I can, I'm just gonna be like, peace out, guys. Back to Africa.
Yeah.
wanna
I mean,
go back. Yeah.
do you guys live there permanently? Are you permanently in Brooklyn, Michael?
Yeah, I moved here like 2 years ago now. So I just moved to a new place beginning of the year. But yeah, I love New York. It was like one of the places that I always wanted to live in when I was like, growing up, and it's been fun. But I do miss home a lot. I miss home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, up until now, were you able to visit often? Just like head down
No-
there?
Last time I was there was Christmas and
Okay.
New Year's, but I would usually go like 3-4 times a year, and I
Okay.
haven't been back since Christmas.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We'll energize it. It's gonna work in your favor. You're gonna make it there and
Yeah.
see the nice beaches.
Yeah.
Easy. Do you live in London or are you just there temporarily?
That's a good. I don't even know at this rate. I promise you, I don't know. I was just but I'd say like yes or no, cause like I hop between Lagos, Nigeria, Accra, Ghana, and London anytime I'm not touring, and so I'm here now, and you know I'm living here for now. I get to decide in like a week where I want to spend the next 1 year. And so help me God.
You're like a Rolling Stone. So let's play. This will be the last song I play. Thank you guys so much, by the way. So this is a J Balvin track. You guys might want to pronounce it for me because I don't want to butcher it because I feel like I know I'm gonna do that.
Michael, you pronounce it.
Which was it? Was it Arcoiris?
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was never gonna say that. I was never gonna say that correctly.
It means rainbow. It means rainbow.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. And this features you, Mr. Eazi. So, Michael, you produced this track, and it actually samples Buena Vista Social Club.
Yep. So Cuban band. This is one of the ones that Easy and me worked on in Haiti when we first met. we did this like in his hotel room in a makeshift studio, like the day after we met, and then I played it for Balvin, and that's how we all got linked up. Like all of us working together. So it's a special one for that.
Sick. So let's listen to that track right now.
Hey.
Zagadat, Guantanamera. I am going to try to yo, Monica Joe for me dada. Yeah, ponte para mi bala so. Find your body, mama. Enciendes la llama. Te pones caliente sin playa.
Zagadat.
Baby, no hagas drama. I love your body, and the way you do the dance for me. Show my bami lole, mo femo. Ya es hora y se hace tarde, no mires el reloj, que lo malo se te sale, así tú quieras me dices que no, dices que no, me dices que no, dices que no. J Balvin, dame un poquito de tu ley, ven pa' acá y rompamos la ley. Echa sal pa' que la carne selle. Esto lo bailan hasta los Bailame al revés, esto se va hasta las 6. Relájate 0 en 3. Bailame al revés, esto se va hasta las 6. Relájate 0 en 3. Bailame al revés. I love your body and the way you do the dance for me.
Bro, this is like my favorite song.
Ya es hora y se hace tarde, no mires el reloj, que lo malo se te sale, así tú quieras me dices que no, dices que no, me dices que no, dices que no.
Alele.
Bro, it's so crazy that this is
The craziest thing with Mr. Eazi,
Okay.
craziest thing, doesn't matter what language the song is in, he can sing it. He sang in French, he sang in Creole, he sang in Spanish, he sang Yoruba in English. We literally, what he just did on the song is he made it up. He made up a
And
language.
that language only knows that language. Like that language doesn't exist outside of my walls. And everybody
That's
thinks
your
it's
language. Now
everybody
you need a
thinks
master class to teach us what that language is. So now you have like five different master classes you need to do.
boom, done.
Oh man, the second career. If all else fails, now we know exactly what you'll be doing.
Absolutely.
But first, we need to make you a star on Triller and on TikTok, and then we'll go
No,
from there.
that's coming. I'm gonna get a TikTok instructor. Shout out to Donnell. I have a friend. He's He's an amazing performer, singer, songwriter in the UK here, and he came to record, and I went on his TikTok. He has like over 1 million followers, and he's like, hey, and I showed him my TikTok, and he's like, don't worry, I'll help you, and he started teaching me all these TikTok skills. And so don't worry, Toki, don't worry.
Okay, as soon as you find out, please share with me because I'm just so bad at it. I think I'm like too shy for TikTok, which is weird because I'm not like a shy person, but I like feel stupid when I do things. And people who do TikTok, it's like no fear of being stupid. You know, you just you gotta just do it. You know.
Yep.
I want to say thank you guys both again, Michael and Mr. Eazi, for joining me and everyone else on this program right now. I hope you had as much fun as I did. So next week, my guests are Poolside and Todd Edwards, and the next Rave the Vote is this Friday, the 14th. So I want to say thank you. Thank you guys again so much. I'm going to be listening to these tunes. And
Thank you so much for having us, Toki.
I know. Bye. Enjoy your lasagna.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
I'll send the
peanuts.
pic.
Yeah, you got to. I have to have some. Okay.
I got you.
Bye, guys.
All right. Take care, everyone.
About as moist as cake can be. Where are you?
I've run into a problem. The city had planned.
Whoa, boy there. Well, we got a really amazing lineup of wonderful people here for a really good cause.